Okay, so I'm gonna go over a few notes about doing this walnut blasting business here. Okay, so this is how I've got things set up. Got everything covered up real nice. When I turned this engine off and checked everything, these three cylinders, the intake valves were closed on all three of those, which was a super duper blessing, okay? So I was able to test them all with brake clean. There was no leak down. I was able to blast each one of these without having to turn the motor over, which was saved a huge amount of time. Okay. Now the second thing that I did that saved a lot of time was I used this type of pressure blaster. Okay. This is just a handheld siphon type blaster. Okay. And that just all I did was stick the hose in that little bucket. Now I do have an air dryer, really nice air dryer. All right, so it's a Norgine, it's regenerative, it works really good. You need some kind of air dryer so that that moisture level is super low, or you may have problems with things getting clogged up. So anyway, that was cool. All that stuff was cool. Now the kit that I got from FPC came with this little wand. Okay, came with the wand, and it came with this little, came with this thing here, which these are super cool. But the problem is that holding the vacuum hose on here and doing the wand at the same time was kind of a tricky job. So I didn't use it at all. It's a little bit more trouble. I mean, I'd have to make a small, which is not that big of a deal, but I could make a 3/8 pipe adapter for that and make it fit on my tool. I could have done all that, but I didn't mess with it. All I did was hold my hose up to the port and put this little feller in there like that and blast the hell out of it. And it worked really good. I mean, I've got really nice results. As you can see here, man, I don't know how well this is working with this light, but that one I hadn't done yet. And I cleaned this one out manually, but these, I blasted these. And let me zoom that camera in a little bit. There we go. Blasted the balls off of these guys. Walnut blast worked really good. You have to sit on it a little bit to get all the way around the valves, but they just look beautiful. Okay, so we're in good shape. Once you sit on it a little bit, the walnuts kind of go around in there. It keeps focusing. Sorry. They go around and around in there and clean everything. So that's how that is. As far as an abrasive cleaner is concerned, I use this 3M yellow bristle to clean off the gasket surface, which is fine. I guess the trick is to not get walnut shells everywhere inside your engine. So right now, the next step is I'm gonna have to plug up these three ports and then get this one at TDC, okay, and blast that one, which we'll go through that here in just a minute. One of the things that I did that made a huge difference with my vacuum not running all the time is I have this inline switch. Okay, I took it off my drill press and hooked it up on my vacuum cleaner because I just don't want this thing going nuts all the time. So that helps me, and I think it's more efficient to do it that way. All right, so I got like a 24 millimeter and turned it over probably a quarter of a turn and got these two valves to close, and I sprayed some brake clean in there to make sure that those valves are closed and they hold water or brake clean or whatever. Okay, you have to make sure 100% that those valves are closed because you're about to get the walnuts and blast the heck out of them, and we don't want to have more problems. Now, I've already cleaned these quite a bit, like with brake clean and a little clip or a little pick tool. Okay, and so I've done that quite a few times and got quite a bit of debris out of there. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now. I verified that we have it sealed. I'm just trying to get as much of that grime and stuff, picked up out of there and get the oily part, kind of get the oil dissolved, because when it comes out with the walnut shells, that oily moisture part will stick all up inside your vacuum cleaner. And it's never going to be perfect, but I at least like to think I'm helping a bit here. And so basically what I'm doing here is I'm demonstrating multiple things: that the valves are closed, that we do have some nastiness going here, okay, and that I did it without taking the spark plug out. You can take the spark plug out if you want, but the way that I tested it to see if we actually had a closed valve or not was by, okay, so let's see, by putting the brake clean in there and doing it that way. See, that's the way I did it. Now you can take the spark plug out, verify TDC any way you want. It's all good, it's cool. Get this. Okay, so watch your ears. I'm gonna blow this out, the excess. Just whenever you do anything like this, make sure you protect your eyes. Don't be stupid. I wear glasses all the time, so I kind of use those as safety glasses. Okay, so they're nice and dry, all right? And so what I'm going to do now is these other ports, they're not guaranteed closed because I turned it over a quarter of a turn, so I need to block them off before I start blasting. Okay, so I've got things taped up. Now, I'm not going to rely on this tape 100%. I'm still going to be super careful and try not to hit this tape with the walnut blasting media, because it might knock this stuff off. I mean, it's pretty good. The pressure on my air pressure is about 120, 125, somewhere in that range. So if you're pushing 150, 175, if you're pushing a lot higher pressure, well, you're going to get quite a bit stronger of a blast. So let's see, we're going to get our air hose hooked up. Get the El Blasto Maximoso hooked up here. This thing works so good. I'm so happy that it works this well. And I've got my vacuum on got it on a foot pedal, so can do it like that and let her go, let her rip. Alright, let's have a glance in there, see how it looks. Looks pretty good. Like I could sit on it in a few places for a moment. A little bit more. Sometimes you got to sit on it just for a bit to get it to do exactly the amount of cleaning that you want, because those walnut shells have to work their way around the back of that valve. Let's have a glance. Yeah, baby. That looks so good. That sucker works so nice. That is just amazing how good that works. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Whoops, sorry. Got it zoomed in. Looking really nice. Probably could blast it a little more. You can see that it's cleaned all the way to the brass at the top where the valve guide is. It's nice and beautiful. So there you are. There's one little spot right there on the right. About 4 o'clock. But we're looking really good. Okay, well, I hope this helps someone. Y'all have a good day.